Hi everybody, it's Lisa Campion, and I just want to wish you guys Happy New Year. Hope you all had a good holidays. Um, and I think this time of year we're really, thinking about 2017 and New Year's resolutions. It's sort of something everybody does these days, right? And I totally love goal setting, and I'm not such a big fan of New Year's resolutions. And I'll tell you why. I really often feel like New Year's resolutions are sort of often done from the inner critic, right? So we're they kind of come out of this feeling of not being good enough, and can have like a kind of punishing quality to them. So I'm so upset that I'm 10 pounds overweight, or I really feel like I should do X, Y, and Z. And my New Year's resolution, I'm going to get to the gym. I'm going to meet my goals. We have this kind of drive to do these New Year's resolutions. And they're often kind of from this feeling of not being good enough, right? And so New Year's resolutions are often against something. If you've ever noticed that, like you're against, whatever's on your mind that you're trying to improve. And I think that's why we always fail New Year's resolutions, because we can't really sustain something when we're really against it. Like I'm against my 10 pounds, or I'm against, being out of shape, or I'm against my money situation or my business situation. And that kind of punishing, inner critic feeling is not something that we can really hold that for very long. Eventually we slide, we slip, we go back to our old ways. And the difference between like real goal setting and New Year's resolutions is that when you're doing a goal setting, it should always be for something, right? So like when we set goals from our soul, our soul is for things. Our ego is against things. And we always have so much more money for things that we're for, and that we can sort of sustain the for. So think about what you're for, not what you're against. Maybe you're for being healthy. Maybe you're for increasing your finances. Maybe you're for being in shape. And that is something that like your soul sort of pull you towards being for, and your ego will kind of break you down when you're against. And the other thing that I noticed too is that if you're in a stuck place, so if you find you're stuck, you can't move forward, even though you set a lot of goals and you're trying to be in alignment with your soul, moving for something, if you find yourself consistently stuck, that means you need to do some inner work. So we get stuck when we have unresolved issues, when there's part of us that wants something, part of us that doesn't want something. And I see people like sort of manifest incredible things, like move mountains, when all the parts of you inside line up in agreement and they're all agreeing on creating that thing. Those things sort of happen like this. And I'm sure you guys can think of many things in your life where you've done that, like your whole self needs a new car, or your whole self needs a new apartment. Hi, Linda. Hi, Trish. Nice to see you guys. Then we can do like incredible manifesting. But if you're stuck over a long time, you need to get back and do your inner work. You need to go resolve whatever conflicts are going on from inside of us. So maybe you need some coaching or some therapy or some healing. You might need some forgiveness, work, or come in for a session. Come and see me. Come for me for a session. I'll help you get unstuck, I promise. So when we get unstuck and we get all of ourselves lined up, and all the different parts of us, then we can really sort of move forward. And I just would urge you in this, as we're thinking about the new year, that we go for things. Hi, Nancy. I'm sorry you're feeling sick. I hope you feel better. I'm for your health too, Nancy. I really am. So the other thing too about this, so you might, if you're stuck, there also might be sort of an aspect of divine timing. And our soul has its own time for things, it has, and our ego is pushy and full of will and wants everything right now, and we want instant gratification. So I think when you kind of tune into your soul from that point, you have to surrender sometimes to the divine timing of things, and trust and have faith that things will work out on their own. And I am totally guilty of this, by the way. I am a person that is like used to being able to sort of push with my will and make things happen. And I like it when things happen, and I don't like it when things are stuck. And I like, my life when it's moving forward. And I've had to learn, it's hard for me. Like, I've had to really sit back and learn to surrender to the timing of things. And I can feel when the timing is right and when the timing isn't right. And it's still hard for me to kind of settle back and wait for the timing to be right. But it's worth doing, because otherwise we're pushing against the world with our will, and it really doesn't ever really work, does it, right? So anyway, I'm just wishing you guys such a happy new year and a wonderful 2017. And go on, create awesome lives. I know you can, and I hope that you do. And I love you guys so much in the new year. Lots of love.